Apparently, corsets make you faint. Corsets form deformities in your body. Corsets make your waist smaller. I'm sure you've heard some of those things, and today we're going to explore if they are fact or fiction. Welcome to episode 2 of the Corset series. Let's do this! Episode 2 in our corset series. I hope you watched last week's episode that was about corset anatomy, basically what corsets are made of. That means the elements of a corset, shapes of a corset, types of a corset. So today we are talking about fact and fiction of corsets, and it will be interesting because I'm going to debunk a lot of the myths. The truth is the internet can be very, very confusing in information with corsets because there are some people who write articles that sound like they contradict other articles. And my sources, I can say I trust them specifically because they have studied historical corsets. One of my sources has even gone to the length of scientific evidence. That's Lucy Corsetry. I'll put link to the article that she wrote about the research she did about how the corset affects the body. It's so detailed, very scientific. She worked with doctors and all that. So you will find very interesting information about corsets, and it's also very good for you to be sure what you're getting yourself into before you start wearing corsets, if you want to wear corsets. So let's start. I am going to do a lot of slideshows and I'm going to speak again at the end. Enjoy! Corsets and bustiers are not the same. They are made differently and they have different functions as seen on this poster. Before bras, corsets were the earliest forms of support garments for women, and they were always worn on top of a chemise, which was washable. It was never in direct contact with your skin because it could cause bruising, and also because it was expensive, getting dirty and cleaning it all the time was very difficult. No, men did not force women to wear corsets. Most of the time they actually protested it because they thought it caused health issues to women. Women actually wore them more to impress men and to assert their rank amongst other women. Corsets at the time had to be very practical because women still needed to do their chores and they still needed to do other activities such as sports, hiking, and other things. And no, not all women had 13-inch waists. The average waist size was between 18 and 32 because women at that time were very active and were generally leaner. And because women wore a lot of layers of clothes, there was a very big illusion with making their waist look smaller, and also some pictures were doctored. The corsets that exist for women who tight-laced exist because they were very small and were not worn as much as regular size corsets. But very few women did tight-lace. Corsets were mainly worn for back and bust support. They did not restrict organs or give life-threatening diseases. There is no record of any woman having their ribs removed to fit into a corset. That is more of a modern concept. It is, however, not wise to keep wearing a corset every day because of the restriction. It can cause constipation and even indigestion, especially if you tight-lace. Women did have corsets for nursing, but they were encouraged not to wear corsets when they were pregnant. Corset trends were determined by different monarchs at the time, from the Elizabethan era to Victorian era to Edwardian era to the Diana era. They generally got modified with different materials being used, or even the styles or what it was supposed to shape the body for. You'll read all that information in the slides. By the time the 1920s came about, corsets were not in fashion anymore because women wanted to be more free, able to do more things, and also because of the wars, women had to work, so they couldn't wear garments that were very restrictive. Corsets did come back briefly after the Second World War, with designer Dior creating a new look again, emphasizing small waist, full busts, and big flowing skirts. But even now, corsets have not truly disappeared. We have different types of shapewear that are all inspired by corsets. So corsets do come and go and also get reinvented. Yes, men wear corsets too. Now, and even in the 18th and 19th century, when it was popular to wear form-fitting clothes, men tend to wear their corsets very discreetly, but it is something that they do, and it was not common practice for all men to do it. In Africa, we do have a tribe, the Dinka tribe of South Sudan, where the men wore corsets called malual. The women had their own version of a beaded vest. They came in different colors and were linked to a particular age group. You can read more about it in this next slide. So in conclusion, as much as I'm repeating some of the things I have put on the slideshow, please remember to get a corset that fits you well. And the best fitting corset is the one that is made for your body. Have it made for your body. Don't forget to season your corset. Seasoning your corset is like breaking it in, because corsets are made of bones which are straight and they go parallel basically against how your body moves, which is like that, like that. You have to break it in. And when you break it in, it takes the shape of your body. So remember that it is important to wear your corset when you buy it. A few minutes every day, maybe 10 minutes every day, walk around with it, do stuff with it, and then remove it. It's also not healthy for you to wear corsets all the time. It's not wise. And corsets do give you great posture, but it's also not good to get your body so used to support from a corset that you don't allow your body to be able to support itself. But it really does help you with that great posture. Another thing is, I'm sure you've watched me wearing this corset now, this the second episode, and you always notice that I wear it on top of my dress. It's because the corsets I make are actually, my intention is that you wear it on top of something you already wear. Even my overbust corset, that's the intention, that you wear it maybe with a gown, because my whole point of my corset is to provide support. Do not wear your corset on your bare skin, because it is a tightly fitting garment. It can cause a lot of friction when you're moving, and you'll end up just having a lot of discomfort, and also the sweat will also just make your corset not last as long. Caring for this corset is also a task on its own, which will come in one of the episodes this month. So do not wear your corset on bare skin. If you don't want your corset to be seen on the outside, wear a camisole inside and then put your corset on top. Whether the camisole is off shoulder, whether it's just an underbust camisole, whatever it is you decide, make sure there is a layer of fabric on top of your corset. Do not wear it directly on your skin. Another thing is that you cannot share your corset. Once you've broken in your corset, that's it. And don't forget that you have had this specifically made to fit you. So even if you're convinced you and your sister have the same body type, it's very, very rare that it would fit perfectly. That is the reason why most celebrities complain about corsets. When you're doing a show, unless it's a very high budget, rarely do they make corsets that fit celebrities to the T. It is supposed to be for a very short acting scene they're doing. So you'll find that they'll complain because they're uncomfortable. So the problem is that it ends up giving corsets a very bad rep, because someone complained about it and that's what it would be known for. One of the most popular complaints that was on the internet was Emma Watson, as she acted in The Beauty and the Beast, and she decided that she's not wearing a corset because she made it sound like it's all against women's rights. The truth is, corsets were support garments. They were worn for support. There were no bras and things like that. They were worn for support. So they were not an oppression to women, which you've learned, of course, in the facts and fiction. Lastly, I really encourage you, do not tight lace. Do not tight lace, do not tight lace. I know there is a lot of temptation to always make your corset tighter and tighter. Do not tight lace. This specific corset I'm wearing is actually fully, I've reached the end. That just means that this corset is actually too big for me. It's supposed to have a bit of a gap. The gaps are supposed to be between 2 to 4 inches, but this one, it's actually too big for me because there's no gap. But it fits me snugly. A corset is just supposed to fit you snugly, like someone giving you a tight hug. That's how a corset is supposed to fit. Do not tight lace. That is why people faint, because they can't breathe or you're so uncomfortable. It's like wearing a tight bra. How long would you wear it? So don't wear tight corset. Do not tight lace. So that's the end. Next week I will talk more about my corset making process and what I've learned when I'm making corsets, because I have been in the fashion industry for a very long time. There are things I learned about making corsets that's very different from how I make other clothes. So watch out for that, and I hope to see you next week. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Bye. Oh, please remember, like, share, subscribe, and please comment. Also comment on the comment section. It really helps. Even if you do not want to subscribe, liking my video helps YouTube recommend it to other people. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm really appreciating all of you who've subscribed, the new subscribers. We've reached 90. I'm so grateful. I'm hoping we reach 100, and hopefully maybe I'll even do a giveaway. We'll see. Please help me reach 100, and then on to the next milestone. Bye.